Hi community of awesome, I'm Ava J and this is Bookish Pixie. So you've written your manuscript, revised it to death, traded with critique partners, revised it some more, and you know you want to get traditionally published, so now it's time to query. I've talked about querying in a couple vlogs before, including a playlist, which I will link to below, but there's something I haven't really focused on, and that's common query mistakes. So without further ado, here are 4 common query mistakes. First, querying too early. If you're getting ready to query, you should have, at a minimum, already finished writing your manuscript completely, revised it yourself, traded with critique partners, and revised it again. Do note that this applies for fiction. If you're writing nonfiction, then that's a different process, and I can't really talk about it because I've never written nonfiction. But if you're writing any genre or category of fiction, this applies. Except maybe picture books. I haven't written any picture books myself, so I can't really talk about it from experience, but I think that might be different too. For any other genre or category of fiction, however, you need to make sure you do these steps before you query. And yes, I really do mean that you need to find critique partners and trade with them before you query, because you can't write a manuscript yourself. You need outside feedback to help you improve your craft. And critique partners in particular are great because they grow with you and you get to trade more than one manuscript with them and you learn a whole lot for free. So please, for the love of God, get critique partners, and I will put resources for finding critique partners below. So this is all to say that your manuscript should be 100% finished and polished. And by the way, by revise it yourself, I don't mean line editing. I mean looking at your plot and characters and pace and dialogue and world building and making sure all of those elements are the very best that they can be. Which, again, you need outside feedback to do, so don't skip these steps. Second, not answering the 3 big questions. When pitching your book, you need to answer these 3 questions. First, what's the protagonist's goal? Second, what's standing between them and their goal? And third, what's at stake? That is, what do they have to lose if they fail to achieve their goal? These 3 questions are essential regardless of the length of your pitch because they explain why the story matters and what the story is about. And ultimately, they're what agents and editors are going to be looking to answer when reading your pitch, so make sure you answer all of them. Third, not researching or ignoring submission guidelines. I've done an entire vlog on researching for querying, which I'll link to below, so I'm not going to get into details, but this is really important. You need to fine-tune your list to make sure that every agent you query represents your genre and category. If you've met an agent before or spoken to them before or just really like them for whatever reason, I can tell you right now they're not going to make an exception for you if they don't represent your genre and category, because it means that they don't have any experience selling that genre or category, so they wouldn't be a good fit for you. You also need to make sure you research each agent's specific guidelines, because even if you've submitted to an agent at that agency before, every agent has their own guidelines that they follow. Some agents don't want to see any sample, they just want to see your query. Some want to see the first 5 or 10 or 15 pages. Some want to see a synopsis, some don't. It varies agent to agent. So make sure you look at their most updated submission guidelines so you don't get yourself disqualified because you weren't paying attention to the rules. And fourth, writing a pitch that's too vague. Details are key to your pitch. Look, agents and editors read hundreds of queries every week. This means that queries all start to blur together, and when one query starts to sound like another query, it's easy to pass because it doesn't sound unique. If you use phrases like goes on a journey or is destined or has a dark secret or needs to save the world, you can guarantee that there are dozens of other writers who have described their work with the same exact phrases. Make sure that your pitch describes your book and your book exactly so that it couldn't be used to describe anyone else's work. Seriously. Get specific. So that's what I got for today. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys next week.